Well, thank you for having us. I'd like to introduce you and give you a little bit of background about my good buddy Jim here. He's the president and COO of CrunchLabs, the Mark Rober YouTube channel, sorry. Jim operates at the intersection of entertainment, e-commerce, and education. They launch new products and videos every month that inspire excitement about STEM and are rapidly expanding their efforts. But Jim also has 20 plus years in a diverse background across working at Google, in private equity, and quite a few other things. So.
Thank you, that's so kind. Let me introduce Jess. I think probably 90% of people here may already know Jess from her podcast and just her involvement in startups and subscription businesses and e-commerce. But Jess Servion is one of the founding employees of Feastables, which you've probably heard of, as employee number 4. And she has now founded Open Late Collective, which is it's a brand agency, a marketing agency, and also customer experience. And she just has a really rich background in startups and e-commerce. So we're lucky to have Jess as well.
Well, thanks, Doggy. Well, I'm really excited about this conversation because Jim and I have both come from the creator economy, essentially, and we really want to talk to you guys about this. So, but specifically, Jim, tell me, what is CrunchLabs and how did it start?
Okay, so CrunchLabs, has anyone here heard of CrunchLabs? A little audience participation, please. Oh my gosh, good. I'm seeing like 25%, so we need to up our brand awareness, marketing, I think. CrunchLabs we've started with a monthly subscription box for kids to learn about science and engineering. It's a monthly project that comes to where the kids build it, put it together, and then they play with the toy. But we pair that with a cool, entertaining video so that kids can learn how the toy works and like how the science and engineering works behind it. This is kind of the brainchild of Mark Rober, who's a YouTuber. Does anyone know who Mark Rober is on YouTube? Okay.
All right, cool.
Well, okay, so no, stop. We need to actually explain who Mark Rober is before we go any farther. We have a little 1 minute clip. Can we do that? Can we show
Let's show the audience who Mark Rober is.
Okay, this is critical to kind of set the context for what we're gonna talk about. Could they roll that, please?
I'm a former NASA mechanical engineer. Touchdown confirmed. I originally got started on YouTube to show off some science stuff. And now I create content for 21 million subscribers.
Please welcome Mark Rober, everybody. Here he is. Now let's see some squirrels. Here we go. Back. This is Glitter Bomb 4.0. It's like a superpower you can learn, and I'd love to see other people catch that spark.
My dream is the world's most powerful t-shirt carrier.
Here's one! Oh, good to meet you.
Yeah?
These massive drones are attempting to plant 20 million trees from the sky.
The YouTube community is passionate and they're ready to act. They're energized to make change.
We see the science and we care.
We want to remove 30 million pounds of trash from the ocean.
Which is just so freaking audacious. This only happens if we all work together. We can be a catalyst for positive change in this world.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I love a creator who cares about the children that they're actually, making YouTube for. I'm interested to know, how did you meet Mark?
Yeah, and Mark and I knew him before he had 1 million subscribers, so we had met socially. He now has 54 million. He's the biggest science channel on YouTube, where he does science and engineering and gets people really excited, right? By bringing you in with an exciting thing like you saw the giant elephant toothpaste.
Yeah.
And then you're in the video and you're learning like how chemistry works or how, the scientific method. And authentically, he's a really good person. And I've known him for like 7 years. And that's kind of the background of how we had met.
Cool, I love that. So how do you define success at CrunchLabs? Like, you've created this amazing product to essentially take these YouTube videos off just being an entertainment channel and into the e-commerce world, how do you define success?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because when we launched, we were just kind of hoping to hit like pretty meager goals, like let's just not go broke and just kind of make this happen and get started. We achieved our 3-year goals of like reaching 100,000 subscribers and profitability as like an independent company, CrunchLabs, in 3 years. We achieved those goals within 6 months. And so we really felt like we can take this farther and we can do some additional things in education and kind of give back. So we have some things coming we can talk about if you want, but we don't measure success, to your question. We don't measure success in those financial terms. It's not about the money. We actually measure what's the impact on a kid's interest in STEM. So science, technology, engineering, math, and art. It's actually STEAM, put the A in there. How much do they care about that going into it? And then what impact or spark have we caused as a result of like their involvement in the products and videos that we make? And the jury's in. 75% of kids have a statistically significant increased interest in these topics, and they're exposed to these STEM careers as well. So it's a very positive thing. So it's not about the money, to answer your question, but it is about the money because we actually have to fund the mission of what we're doing. So we bring kind of a degree of sophistication to make sure that we operate our growth marketing, with certain thresholds and metrics and all of our operations and our sourcing and all of the costs and everything. So yeah, lengthy answer, but.
No,
yes.
I love it. I mean, absolutely. Like you have to, if you're starting a business, no matter what, you have to have some sort of success. So that is why I asked it for you.
Good question.
But, for the purpose of why we're here at SubSummit and we're here to talk about subscriptions and frictionless experiences, why did you guys create a subscription box as your first product and not just a one-time purchase?
Yeah, subscriptions are hard, am I right? Like, it's actually really hard. We started with the hardest thing first. We're always up against the gun every single month making new videos and new products at our secret location in Silicon Valley in California called CrunchLabs. And we're doing those a year ahead, but we're always up against the gun every month to deliver both the products and the videos. And not only is it Build Box, which is for 6 to 14-year-olds, we also now have this thing called Hack Pack, which is for teens and adults as well. And that thing teaches you Arduino, coding, using AI to code. It teaches you like robotics. And so with those 2 subscription lines, we decided to do subscription because we thought it was a great way for people to try it out, like try out our products. It's a great way to increase your LTV, your lifetime value of a customer. It allows us to kind of spend more on the marketing, and that could be from like the videos that we're making, as well as the marketing that we're doing, just the paid and all the podcasts and all the other social and other channels for marketing. And we stand behind our products, so we felt a subscription, we can put ourselves out there and trust that people are gonna like retain their way through a year or even longer, and they are, and they love the products. It's like a win-win. So now not everything we do will be subscription, but that's how we started, and it kind of helps fund the videos and this company and the like educational efforts that we wanna go do to radically improve STEM education in America, starting with middle schools. And we actually want to make a lot of that, like all of those videos for middle school teachers and students, we want to make that for freely available to them. So subscription was hard, but it allows us to do these other additional things that we're excited about.
Interesting. So I love that you've shared with us the model of why you've done the subscription. But what I'm really curious of, because at the end of the day, I'm a customer experience and retention girly, and I want to know, how do you get people to actually open the box? I understand the excitement from Mark.
Yeah.
But how do you sell the box to say, you want to open this, you want to put this together?
You get it, yeah, totally. We spent a lot of time before we even started the idea in my kitchen, Mark and I, just like talking through these things. And here's what we came up with, and I don't know if this is relevant to any of your businesses, but we thought about before you open the box, during the unboxing and that experience, and then after the unboxing is done and the experience is over. So before, we actually created a sweepstakes where you can win a chance to come to CrunchLabs and build a project and engineer something with Mark Rober. It's an all-expense-paid trip. One lucky kid each month wins the chance to do that, and they come to the secret location, and they get to play with the tennis ball cannon to win $10,000 in cash, and they jump in the foam pit and the secret passageways, and they work with our team of a dozen brilliant engineers that can build anything now. And so that's like that allure and that excitement is just like captured, in their imaginations. So that was the before. So they can win the platinum ticket, and one in one of the boxes every month is like a very exciting thing for kids. And they don't understand statistics very well. The chances of winning are actually like quite low now. But you should see their faces when they do win and they come out here. It's truly like the best form of success of any of this, to see that like excitement. During the unboxing, we have a QR code in the lid, like as you open the box, and that takes you to a video on YouTube that's unlisted. And when you watch that video, the parent's now optional. Like, they don't have to be there to put the toy together with the kid, but they can if they want. It's like the degree to which they want to engage, it's up to them. So that video, again, it has instructions, how to put the toy together, and also like the first toy that everyone gets teaches you about flywheels, how a flywheel, imparts momentum to another object. And I swear to you, we have 7-year-olds coming up to us and being like, okay, you could use a flywheel for that because it actually stores momentum in this way, and you could actually, transfer that to this other object. We're like, this is great. And then after the project is done, the kids built the toy. In the first box, we ship a diploma with 12 slots. And every single box has a little gear badge that kids stick into the diploma, and they build out their curriculum, like their scientific understanding. They're talking about angular momentum. They know how ratcheting systems work. And each little badge goes into this diploma. And so they've got to retain to 12, right? It's like, you want to fill out your diploma.
Yeah.
And at the end, you get a little signature thing from Mark Rober that goes onto your diploma. Then after that, like, we ship the year 2 diploma in box 12, so that you auto renew, and the parent want to extend the subscription into the next year. And we're doing 3-4 years for Build Box, and we're gonna have a lot more to come on the Hack Pack subscription as well.
Wow, that's awesome. I think what's really interesting is that when we're looking at a creator business, right? We're looking at a creator business, and like, you look at just general influencers, creators that are out there, and they usually do like a one and done type of product, right? Like, okay, in my case, I've sling chocolate bars for Mr. Beast, okay? It's a one and done thing, right? But so what I think is really interesting is that you have created subscriptions for a creator business. And I'm curious about, like, what is your opinions specifically on creator businesses and subscriptions and why it works?
For the combination of creators and subscriptions is hard. This is what your question's about. I'm a student of this. And I feel like we have a community here where we can figure this out together. And I want to exchange ideas because we're humble enough to know we don't know enough about what we're doing. So we need experts. And so, like, we're in this together. But I think with creators and subscriptions specifically, I think you need to nail like 3 or 4 things. Number one, like a killer product market fit on the product you're doing. So like a Feastables, that's pretty good. If you don't, like, China and Amazon will eat your lunch. They're just gonna like copy what you're doing, and you don't have anything differentiated. Number 2, I think you really need to like look at your marketing overall, and you need to get an A in that. If you don't, even beyond the creator, like your paid stuff, you gotta get an A. If you get a B+, it's not gonna cut it. That's the make or break difference between success and failure in these things. And I think the third thing is like a variabilized cost structure really helps a creator if you're doing a business directly, or if they're doing a licensing deal or something, which tend not to work out very well. They can. So I think that variabilized cost structure allows you to grow your costs along with your revenues. And as those start to break, you start to run into like cash flow issues, and it gets harder and harder. And then the creator kind of starts giving up more control and creativity. And then they start to get more of like they're feeling like they have a boss. And then the fourth is probably just decisions about outsourcing versus insourcing talent and capabilities, and being really clear where you need to build things out and where you need to just go and get experts that do something for you.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, and I agree with your opinion wholeheartedly. I also think, and I just want to circle back to this one point, that it doesn't matter if it's a creator business or not. You still have to put effort into your marketing strategy, because at some point you have all of that acquisition from that creator, but you still are like every other e-commerce brand out there.
Right, absolutely. You kind of got me thinking about creator businesses. Like, you worked with Mr. Beast then. I mean, do you have any good stories of like stories of pain or?
I don't know about pain. Well, pain for some, funny to me. I think going back to the sweepstakes thing and like getting people to like open the box or get excited about the product. One of the things that we did, we used to operate in these seasons. And so in season 1, we gave away, e-bikes and a Tesla and all these things. But then season 2, we thought it was a really good idea to give away Teslas. And we gave multiple Teslas. And we gave away 10 Teslas. But nobody actually was like, oh, how are we going to get those Teslas? And because I was the customer experience leader, they were like, Jess, you should go do it. So I flew around this country delivering Teslas to these really amazing kids. I mean, not all kids, like some teenagers, some parents, like that were really excited about winning this Tesla. So I think nightmare to some, but really rewarding for me.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Did you get content from that as well? Like, you guys probably
all on my
use
iPhone.
That. Yeah. A lot of what we shoot, most of it is on iPhone.
Yeah.
Even for Mark Rober and those videos you saw.
Yeah. So content trick for everybody. It's really just an iPhone. Yeah. So tell me, let's get back on track. Tell me what's next for CrunchLabs.
We want to radically improve STEM education, starting with middle schools in America, make a lot of that content and lesson plans and stuff for free. And then from there's a lot of opportunity. I think there's things we can do in gaming. We have a Roblox game for a younger audience, which is really fun. It's build a rocket versus Mark Rober. And I think some other things like initiatives that we can do with getting girls into STEM as well. I mean, Mark's great, but I think we need some more representation on screen. You can't be what you don't see. So I think there's some opportunity for us to do more there, and we're working toward that as well. Yeah. And then on the videos, there are some real bangers coming up even this year.
That's really awesome. I think it's really awesome, like what you guys are doing. Just, of course, in the subscription context and like thinking through all of the marketing strategies and how to get people to open the box and, the retention of it all. But I think what's really amazing about what you guys are doing is teaching children how to like think outside the box, no pun intended. But really to like think outside of the box and like not just, rot your brain on YouTube all day.
It's all about intention and like our motivations totally. Like even me being here today, the reason is because I want to like spread the mission and like the goodness that Mark's sparking. And there's a lot more that we are going to be doing as a result. And just, we're also like hiring some key people. So just kind of getting our word out, we're looking for like a head of partnerships, our head of education, we're hiring for that. If you know people that could really help us develop curriculum and make like a really big impact nationwide. We want to be in over 70% of schools in America in just a few years. And Bill Nye is currently there still. That's 30 years. So we are remaking a lot of that for the YouTube generation. And that's going to be another, and then other partnerships. If you have advice and thoughts, as you hear me talking, you're like, no, you got that wrong. Like, we are totally open to conversations, advice, and just kind of like geeking out together on this stuff because we love the e-commerce and subscription world.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing the stage with me, and thank you everybody for attending. And if you have any questions about the creator economy, subscriptions, or would like a job with Jim, please find us on the floor.
Thank you. Thank you.